Welcome to Brave Healer Productions. It's time to experience what's possible. So, what if there's something you haven't learned about entrepreneurship yet that could change everything? Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we're helping the world experience what's possible. And here today to help me with that mission is the lead author of one of our newest books. This one is called The Intuitive Entrepreneur: Deeper Connections for Soul-Driven Success. Welcome, Deb.
Thank you so much, Laura. What a pleasure to be here.
Oh my gosh, Deb DeCelle, you guys, I'm going to tell you about her in just a minute, but I want to kind of pour some gratitude onto her first because you don't get here with these expert collaborations without a visionary soul leading it. And Deb, you're amazing. Your mission was big with this. I appreciate it. It's one of my favorite topics ever. I was telling you that before we even started recording. I love it, and I can't wait to get into this conversation today. But let me tell you guys just a little bit about Deb. She's an international educational medium and mentor. Her passion is helping others unlock their intuitive potential. Her work has taken her from small town settings in upstate New York to global stages where she inspires clients to embrace their intuitive abilities and explore their soul's purpose. She's known for her compassionate, down-to-earth approach and offers intuitive guidance, mediumship, and personalized mentoring that empowers individuals to live authentically and fearlessly. So, Deb, tell me the why behind this book?
Well, the why behind this book is I really wanted to bring together a group of entrepreneurs that were different. You know, in the work that I do, so much is the unseen, so much is what we can't see, feel, and touch. And yet it's so powerful, so incredibly powerful. And so when I was thinking of this and kind of noodling it around in my mind, and you and I chatted, you were like, oh, wait a second, you've got something here. And so when I brought together this expert collaboration, I was so excited because it's not just my own perspective. There are 22 different perspectives. And so my why became, how do we do business differently? How do we bring a project to the world that brings something so completely different to the table than your average garden variety business book? And so it became, how do I bring those intuitive parts and birth that into the world in a project so that anybody can pick up that book and say, I wonder how intuitives do it. And this is certainly just a wonderful hash of tools and treasures that we've offered to the world in this way.
Yes, it is. Oh my gosh. All right, you guys, I'm going to give you like a little sneak peek of this beautiful cover here today, too. I know.
Davide DeAngelis is amazing.
Yes, he is. Davide, thank you for your beautiful design and just kind of capturing the energy and pieces of our mission are in this beautiful visual of this book. Like we're taking the energy to another level too in terms of these collaborations. Of course, my favorite color is purple, you guys. I don't know about Deb's, but
it is.
Okay, good. We all like purple around here. Yeah, well, what else did you want to say about that? Anything?
I think that just the work that Davide has done on the book just blows my mind because he is about visual alchemy. We had a conversation, he and I, prior to him creating that incredible cover. And it was in that conversation, the feeling of our energies blending together, that he then got off that call and birthed that visual for the front page. And every single author has their own unique piece of art at the beginning of their chapter. He downloaded intuitively the designs for each and every author after he read our chapters. And wow, boy, you just don't get any better than that, Laura. You just don't. It's absolutely marvelous.
Oh my gosh, that is for sure. All right, this juicy topic. So, what do you think is the most important thing you want people to know about using their intuition as an entrepreneur?
I think it's that it's accessible to everyone, is something that's incredibly important. A lot of people think that intuition is only for some, or only for a select group of people. Really, it's for everyone, and that is the starting point. That's the foundation of all of this, is to believe and to know that you have access to that wisdom, and learning to apply it in a way that makes sense in the entrepreneurial world.
I love that you said that first because I'm going to say it too. You guys have the ability for these magical powers that we're going to be talking about today. This is not just for special people. I used to believe that actually. I'm like, how come I can't get these beautiful messages moving through me? Well, it took a little connection, took a little practice. Now imagine having an entire toolkit of experts teaching you how to do this and ways to connect, like this book, you guys. Oh my gosh. um okay, intuition versus strategy in business. Talk to me about how you sort this out.
Absolutely. Strategy is up here. Intuition is everything else. Intuition is that feeling. Intuition is that kind of quote unquote gut feeling that people get. And so you learn to refine that more and more. So you're quieter and you can hear that wisdom. So when I think about intuition, I think of a blending of the whole person, not just being cerebral up in your head.
And we're not really taught to feel, are we?
We're taught to shut it down, and that feelings are a liability in entrepreneurship and in business.
Yeah. And I think that's a big mistake because I think all the magic is going to come from that place that is coming from you and your connection that is so aligned. You
Mhm.
know, we hope it's aligned with your goals and your dreams and your visions for your future, but you're not usually going to get that out of your head.
Exactly, exactly.
So the intuitive entrepreneur is meant to help people understand this magic that awaits when they can tap into, I'm going to call it their inner power for now. So,
Mhm.
what's the coolest part about being in touch with that inner wisdom for you? Like, tell us a story about this.
Okay, let me just noodle that around for a moment.
Like, I know that you use it on an everyday basis, which is many of, all the authors in the book. And so I think we kind of
Mhm.
get used to our superpowers. And I want to know, maybe, what feels like the coolest thing about this to you. Maybe if you could think of an example of it.
I think it's really when you begin to come into alignment, when you start to see the breadcrumbs, okay? You feel those nudges. Remember before I talked about that gut feeling and following the nudges. Now, when you and I connected to discuss this, it was only an abstract idea or just an idea kind of swimming around in my noggin. And you and I spoke because something said I needed to speak to you about this. Okay. And so it was that push, it was that nudge. Now, when I had written last year on the grief experience, you and I had some very brief interactions. But this project has been swimming around in my head for 2 years, the title, and there being something to this. And so the minute I took that aligned action, I followed that quiet nudge to connect with you. And you were like, oh my gosh, let's do it. Okay. And so I followed my own intuition, my own nudge to connect with you. And everything just bing, 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 bing fell into alignment. I came into alignment. And then here we are a few months later, and this project is being birthed into the physical world.
Yes, thank you for talking about the nudges. This is going to be so great for our listeners. People get nudges in different ways. and I'm not going to be good at running through the words. Claircognizance is one of them, but like, can
Yes.
you help us understand the nudges and the different ways people get them?
Absolutely. One of the ways how that I know really that I'm on track is that I will get full body chills. Okay. It's almost like head to toe vibration. You know, when you kind of get those little goosebumps on your arms and you can just feel this warm rush of energy. For me, that's how it works. And that's how I know I'm on the right path. Some other people I've heard say, oh, you know, I can just feel it in my heart space, or I just feel it in my bones, or I just feel it in my belly. And so sometimes it's that fluttery little butterfly feeling. Sometimes it's like your body wants to physically lean in like that. And so you learn to be attuned to your different signal, your different frequency. And my signal might not be the same as your signal. You know, one of the things that I've had people do in business is psychometrize contracts. And what that means is they hold a contract in their hands and they close their eyes and they feel, okay, does this feel good to me? Does this feel aligned to me? And then they couple that with their other skills and tools. And then they can work from an intuitive perspective.
Yeah, awesome. I'm I'm just like, yeah, tell me more. I think because I mean, people with a little bit of intuition connection, I know I am always looking for ways to up level that superpower because of the magic it's created in my life. You know,
Yes.
I feel some days like I have this beautiful magic wand and I'm just able to kind of tap it and things happen. And that's very exciting from a place of stuckness that people might be in,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
so if we're stuck, like if we're on that end of the spectrum of life and it's just not going well, or we're feeling overwhelmed, or all the things,
Yes.
what do you think is like little step number one for them?
I think step number one would be to learn to be grounded so that you can make a decision from a place of power instead of reactivity. And what I mean by grounded is just getting connected to earth energy, going outside and getting your bare feet in the grass, going and standing beside the ocean or a body of water, having connection to that grounded earth energy. It's as simple as sitting in a chair in your office and imagining your energy connecting with Mother Earth. And really, truly, that's the very first step of a journey like this.
I love that so much. It's a powerful first step. I hope y'all get outside today.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. All right. So you have a lot going on aside from this book. Would you share about what you're up to in the world and how we work with you and all the things?
absolutely. So currently, I'm working on two other book projects, which will be out later this year. And also, I'm doing one to one mentoring with people, which is just such a beautiful way to help people to step into their power. You can find me on my website at debdecelle.com. You can find me on social media at Deb DeCelle Medium on Instagram and Facebook. And this summer, I'm actually teaching in July in Santa Fe, and then in November in Puerto Vallarta, where we will be able to experience a sea turtle release. And then stay tuned for May of 2026, where I will be teaching in Ireland and Scotland. And also, I will be teaching on August 18th at Lilydale in upstate New York.
Wow, that's quite a schedule. Beautiful. Thank you. So I know you'll be with me in terms of just saying thank you to your co-authors. First, from me, you
Yes.
guys. Thanks for saying yes to the project and for coming in to grab Deb and Mai's hand and say, yeah, you know, I want to write about this too. I want to help teach the world. And we're so grateful for you. But Deb, what's your message to your co-authors today?
This is going to tear me up a little bit. When I think about the time spent, when I think about the energy of us all coming together, It's so profound. This is truly my dream team. Every single author has such a unique story to tell and wisdom to share. And oh my gosh, how incredible that it's not just me, that there are 22 different perspectives all together. And to me, that's just mind boggling because there are so many different ways to approach intuition. And you're not just getting one perspective, you're getting 22 perspectives. And so there are so many different ways to approach intuition in entrepreneurship. And, this one single book is such a gift to yourself because there's a whole plethora of different ideas and tools that you can really use in leveraging your own intuition in your business. My co-authors are some of the best in the world. These are free thinkers. These are people with entrepreneurial spirit, but also with that intuitive resource being out in the world, and they have access to it at all times. And really, my dream team, which is truly what they are, when I think of them, the song "You're Simply the Best" by Tina Turner is what comes to mind because they truly are. I could not have asked for a better team to be on this project. They just are truly the cream of the crop, and I'm so lucky that they all said yes.
You gave me such a great shot of that song in my brain just now. Thank you for that.
You're so
Deb,
very welcome.
thank you so much for what you do in the world. Thank you for being who you are and showing up like you do, and for gathering this stellar group of experts together to talk about this topic. And thank you for being here today to share it with everyone.
Thank you so much, Laura. It was my pleasure.
So, you guys, if you haven't already felt the vibe, this is way more than a book. This is a generous community. So, drop down into the show notes. I have Deb hooked up with all those links she was talking about earlier. Please go explore her website and her socials and click on those links and figure out what you want to be a part of in terms of her world. We are really, really proud of the community that we've created, both in this book and the bigger Brave Healer community. And we want to be there if you have a question about what we're talking about today, or maybe you need some support. Okay. So come on down into the show notes, and Deb is there to answer questions, and she hopes that you reach out. So we also hope that you hop over to Amazon today and grab your copy of this beautiful book. The link is down below for that as well. And lastly, everyone, remember, your words and your business will change the world when you're brave enough to share them in a bigger way. It is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.